And welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today we are going over the final injury report as we get ready to take on the Arizona Cardinals today. And hopefully, we have a victory today. But it looks good as far as the injuries and how they have progressed throughout the week. We could start with the fact that we do have our one of our main cornerbacks back, and that's going to be Benjamin St. Juste. The fact that he was able to be a full practice participant coming back from the chest injury. He had been limited all week. You're seeing that. But next up, I think that this is going to be huge because we had Sam Cosmi, who had been out with the Achilles. Looks like he is good to go for today. That is critical, especially with an Achilles injury, being a guard, having to move people out of the way. He's obviously going to have to need that to create some leverage. And I think that this is going to be huge for the Washington Commanders game plan today because, if they're going to win against the Cardinals, I think that they're going to have to be the more physical team, which they have been, I think, over the last 2 weeks against the Giants and also against the Bengals. And I'll even say, look, going back to week one, that is one of the things that they were successful at doing is running the football. So I think that the Washington Commanders are really trending here towards being a running football team first that is going to eventually go down the field. So I do like that. That is a lot of what we had with RG3 when he was a quarterback with us that rookie year, because he had Alfred Morris out there running the football, and then he was able to go off play action that way. So I think that, yes, this is critical that we have Sam Cosmi coming back here. And so next up, as we continue through this injury report, you're seeing the fact that we are down a defensive tackle in Johnny Newton. But more importantly, this is the most important, I think, coming back, is that Emmanuel Forbes Jr., he was supposed to possibly be on the IR. The fact that he's not looks like he is going to be ready to go after the thumb surgery. And so we're going to see just how good he can be coming back with this thumb ligament or something that he had in the thumb. And then also, too, just can he avoid not making any kind of penalties or big plays that he gives up big plays, I should say, in the secondary. It's one of the things that I talked about with the secondary. They're going to have to keep things in front of them. You don't want the Cardinals to have those long chunk plays. I think that if the Commanders are going to win this game defensively, you do need to get stops. Let's make it clear. You do need to get stops at some point. But if you're not able to get those stops and the offense continues to roll like it's rolling, and you essentially feel like, look, as long as we have the ball in our hands with the final minutes, we feel like we can win the game, that's fine. If you feel like you're going to make their offense use the whole field, have to go down, eat up the clock, you want to, kind of take away possessions that way, that's fine if you want to be that type of defense. And then you can also turn into a bend but not break kind of defense where you're giving up field goals versus touchdowns. That can be critical. But that starts with not getting caught with these silly penalties in the secondary and giving up chunk plays, which that has been really the story for Emmanuel Forbes Jr. So I think he's going to be tested. I think it is huge that we get him back, especially if we're going to be running some bracket coverage against Marvin Harrison Jr. And so next up, Quan Martin is going to be back out there. That is huge. Talking about bracket and coverage being a safety, we need somebody that's going to be over top of Marvin Harrison Jr. to kind of take him away. So it's great that he has come back from the elbow injury. I think that is going to be huge for us. And so also, too, as we scroll up here and we look at the injury report and we look at the out, starting with Austin Eckler. And I talked about this earlier in the week and how the Washington Commanders are going to have to really supplement his production. And, I think that is going to be huge because, we have Chris Rodriguez Jr., who is going to be out there. He's going to be depended on at this point in time. I talked about the fact that he likes to play physical as a runner. He likes to run behind his pads, and he is a bit more elusive than most give him. He has good vision. And so I think that clearly he's not out there to catch the football necessarily, because that wasn't his thing coming out of college, out of Kentucky, is being a pass catcher runner. But he's a player that is going to wear down the defense as time goes along. And so I'm curious to see what the Washington Commanders are going to look like with these bigger backs behind Jaden Daniels, because I think that there's a chance that the Commanders can play ball control offense and really take timely shots down the field. And with the confidence that Jaden Daniels has, I think that he has a chance to make them pay on those plays. But I think that it is going to really be crushing, I think, for the Arizona Cardinals if they cannot get stops and we can dictate just the way the game is going to be played, excuse me, on our terms up front. And so I think that that is going to be huge to have Chris Rodriguez Jr. elevated and to see how much usage he gets. Next up, you're seeing that we obviously we have a defensive end that is ruled out with the knee injury. And I talked about this before. Andre Jones Jr. is going to be critical. I think that there's a chance that this young man is going to get some run. Talked about the fact that he is great at taking on double teams. He is going to allow us to continue to probably win on those pass rushing attempts. But he is a bit inconsistent when it comes down to finishing on run, so containing the run. And so sometimes that means he gets out of the lane, kind of gives up the edge and things like that. And you cannot do that, especially against Kyler Murray, who likes to get to the edge. James Conner is a little bit more of a player that is going to be seeking contact. But again, you don't want to give him the edge either, especially in a screen game and stuff like that. So you want to stay disciplined here. And so that's going to be my key for him. But I think that there is a chance for him to be an impact player because he does know how to find the ball carrier and he does play with power as well. So we are going to need that. So I think that that's going to be critical. Jamison Crowder, love him as a player. I'm glad he's come back to us, but he's out. That just gives, Noah Brown, I think Luke McCaffrey, Terry McLaurin, that's going to put a little bit more pressure on them. And Zach Ertz. I think that Zach Ertz is going to have to step up and really occupy that middle of the field. That's something that Austin Eckler, I think if you look at a lot of his routes, he's able to do. And I think Zach Ertz is starting to get a little bit more of a rapport with Jaden Daniels. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I think the Commanders can get it as long as the Commanders continue to do what they've been doing. Don't get lapsed in what you've been doing. They've been progressing very well over this upcoming or these last couple games. And so they've got to continue that momentum. I hope they do not come in. They've been reading headlines and things like that. I hope they've come in and they are ready for business because this Arizona Cardinals team, they just basically were bullied by the Detroit Lions. And I don't think that they're going to want to do that 2 weeks in a row. That's where we're going to have to come in with that business-like mentality and make sure that we play the game on our terms. And I think the Commanders can do so. I think that this game is going to be a 30-26 contest. I think the Commanders put up 30 again. I think they win. Let's see what happens today. But anyway, we'll be talking a little bit more Commanders on Monday. I hope you guys enjoy Sunday, and hopefully it is Victory Sunday for our Washington Commanders. Go Commanders, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, peace, peace.